In life, the odds can be against us, but against the odds. I have returned, and I have seen under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, right? Yet the bread to the wise, right? Yet understanding to the rich, right? Or favor to the skillful, right? Because for all of them, there's time and there's chance, right? So it happens to them all, right? So these were the words of the great Solomon, right? Son of King David, right? So just because he hasn't asked God for riches and long life and the life of his enemies, right? God says, I will give you, you've asked for wisdom, I will give you wisdom, you will be the wisest man. None has been as wise as you, none will be, right? So Solomon, the wisest man, these were the words that he utters, right? He says, I've returned and I've seen under the sun that the race is not to the swift, right? So we look at Colonel Sanders, right? KFC. For Colonel Sanders, the race was not to the swift, right? At age 60 or whatever his age was, right? He created Kentucky Fried Chicken that you and I enjoy today, right? So for him, the race was not to the swift. For Edison, right? Don't know how many times he tried, 1,000 times or whatever. He says, nah, each time it's just one chance closer to my goal, to the light bulb, right? So for Edison, the race was also not to the swift, right? And so as you saw, right, the one guy runs fast, right, want to get to his goal fast, right? The other one takes it slow, right? The other one takes a walk, right? All get to their goal in their time, right? So the race is not to the swift. The Bible says, Paul says, stir up the gift there inside of you, right? So for us, don't be worried that you haven't arrived yet. In fact, we will never arrive. We will always be on the journey, right? But don't lose hope, right? Keep on cultivating the gift. Keep on cultivating the goal that you have. Go after it, right? Make the best out of it, right? As Jim Rohn says, he says, read the books, right? He says, go to the seminars, right? Do that, cultivate it, because the race is not to the swift, right? Each one gets there in their time, right? Because all of us has a purpose, right? All of us has a purpose. We've come here to live out our God-given purpose, right? A God-given destiny we have to live out, right? And so for each one, it happens at different stages in our lives, right? Some might say, yeah, at the age of 17 I already knew, at the age of this I already knew, right? But for others, it's like they gotta find it, they gotta go after it, they gotta cultivate it, right? They gotta develop it, right? So yeah, so for us it's we just keep going, right? You keep your eye on the prize, on the goal, on the desire, on the gift that's inside of you, and you cultivate it, you work at it, right? you sharpen it, right? Every if I might put it this way, every course you take, every book you read, every time you sharpen the goal, the desire, the gift, it takes you one step closer, right? As Edison said, no, every time I failed, it just takes me one step closer, and it's not a failure, just it's another opportunity to do it better, right? So yeah, so Michelle Weeks, she I will insert the song. Just listen to the song. Me and you, we all have our purpose. We all have our God-given dreams and goals that we want to make a success out of, right? Out of life, right? And so we apply that principle, right? The race is not to the swift. We keep moving. We keep cultivating the gift, right? We keep cultivating the purpose, what God has put inside of us. So I will insert the song now, and just listen to the words that she sings, right? And yeah, and then we'll get back into the video. There's a translation that says, David fulfilled his purpose in his generation. Right? So we are to fulfill our purpose in our generation. You and I are wonderfully and fearfully made. You and I were stitched together, right? You were yeah, it's like when you do art, you want to make sure that everything is correct. That's yeah. So she says, let no one tell you that you're not worthy, right? Let no one tell you you cannot do it, right? Because those are the dream killers, right? Those are the ones that the enemy wants to use in order so that you don't reach your God-given destiny, right? So he wasted his destiny. I mean, he wasted his gift that God gave him, right? Right. It says, Bible says they were pipes were prepared in him, right? He was the most beautiful being, right? And probably is still, apart from what he's doing, right? But how God has designed him, right? But he's wasted it, right? He's turned it against God, right? And so that is what he wants to do with you and I. He wants to take our gift, he wants to take our purpose, and he wants to use it in a different way, or he wants to use our passion in a different way. So we waste our gift, waste our purpose, because we're using it, or we use that passion not for the purpose that God has designed it for, but we use that purpose for something that God hasn't designed us for, right? So we waste it, and we waste our lives, right? And we do not fulfill our purpose in our generation, right? So that is my encouragement today, that go after it, right? Stir up the gift, cultivate it, right? Go after it with all your heart, right? We're all on a journey, right? But remember, the race is not to the swift, right? So let us not look at others that's already attained it, or others that's already walking in it, and we, Lord, when is, and I know what that can be, right? So I put my hand on my own heart, right? I say, hey Lord, win, hey Lord, win. But we might not even know that we're already in it, right? We're already pursuing it. We're already doing what we are called to do, right? So we are just there to, we just have to keep on cultivating it, so that one day the light bulb will go on. Says, hey Lord, yes, this is it, right? You've already took me through the training. You've already took me through the process, and now I'm walking into it. Now I'm living it. Yeah. So guys, once again, against the odds, the race is not to the swift. We keep moving. Yep. So shout out to Michelle Weeks for that brilliant song. So remember, you've got a purpose.